Hey there guys, PC Guy here, and if you've watched our videos for a while, you know that background noise is usually an issue as far as our channel goes, be it with the keyboard clicking, shower sounds, dogs walking around, or you name it. It's usually a bit tricky to get clean and clear audio. Now, NVIDIA has apparently came to the rescue. A few videos have been making the rounds online of people doing all sorts of crazy stunts with RTX Voice, which is a small lightweight program that NVIDIA has released recently. I'll describe it in a little bit later. But you see people doing all sorts of stuff like banging drums, server fans pointing at microphones, all that sort of thing. And the app is designed to basically remove background noise either from your incoming audio from if you're in a Discord call, etc., or your outgoing from your own mic. At its core, RTX Voice is very simple. They claim to leverage AI tech and, well, neural network, machine learning, you name it. I'm not gonna get super technical on it, but anyway, they use the tensor cores on their RTX cards to basically, through machine learning, get rid of the voices that are not the speaker's voice. So this is, well, supposed to basically clean out the audio of all the other stuff while leaving the speaker's voice intact. Quick disclaimer before I start showing you guys examples and all that sort of stuff. Apparently, the software was not working properly beforehand, at least not completely, or did not look like it at the very least, and I reinstalled it and it seemed to be filtering more noise out. So this might be an unintended thing. In any case, what you are hearing now in the examples and the rest of the commentary that I've been giving throughout the rest of the video with RTX Voice on, it does not seem to be working at full potential, so you can possibly expect more out of it in the future. This all runs on your GPU, you don't need dedicated hardware, you just need an NVIDIA graphics card. And although it's called RTX Voice, it does not even necessarily need RTX hardware to use. It does not run strictly on the tensor cores, at least not just as of yet. So you can unofficially get it to work on GTX cards, and people have actually managed to get it running on cards as far back as, for example, the 700 series. Obviously, since it's not running on the tensor cores it's supposed to, it will take a toll on your frame rate if you're playing or gaming at the same time. However, the timing on the launch of this app is also not coincidental. With a lot more people working at home or just having free time at home, or gaming or streaming online, which are both activities that often also require communication, RTX Voice promises to clean that all up and make it a lot easier to enjoy those moments, or if you're working, to be a bit more productive without sounds like screaming children in the back, your PC's own noises like fans, etc., clicking of mechanical keyboards, and all that sort of stuff. Now, let's be clear, although it uses the machine learning and tensor cores, all that stuff, it's all happening on your PC, and the deep learning that they mentioned has happened on NVIDIA's end while building the software, and not so much that it's sending your sound to NVIDIA and then back to you cleaned up. That's not how it works, and NVIDIA has no access to your sound at all. Early reminder though that this software is in beta, so this could mean several things. Could mean, for example, that the workaround that enables it to work on GTX cards might get disabled in the future if NVIDIA is not happy about it. This could be for multiple reasons, either because they're not happy with the performance impact that it has, or the results that it has on GTX cards, or because they want to limit it to their RTX series to kind of drive sales up a bit. That said, things could change. You could get better software, less impact as well, and the software is a bit more developed, and just better cleaning up of the audio with even more background noise removed, or less voice quality loss while the software is processing it. It all happens in real time, does not require you to record first, run the software or anything, just all runs in the background, and you don't actually need to do anything to get it running. For those of you more curious for more details and a better explanation, the NVIDIA RTX Voice setup guide on their webpage has a lot more information, requirements, etc., and a configuration for different types of programs like Discord, OBS, Skype, and etc. for those of you wanting to use it for multiple things. As requirements, they list GeForce RTX or Quadro RTX card, which, as we know by now, is not strictly necessary. You can bypass that and use that on a GTX card, although you do need to have the drivers updated to 410.18 or newer, and it only works on Windows 10. I'll let you guys see the trick to install it on GTX card in a separate video, because I figured that the people wanting to have a quick installation guide just to get it going probably are not interested in the whole explanation, all the testing that I'm about to do, so it's a lot easier to get that in a separate video and just be a bit more concise there. For now, you might notice that there might be a slight clicking or mechanical keyboards or whatever sound in the background. However, that is already with RTX on, and I'll let you guys hear now how it sounds without RTX voice enabled. I guess I was expecting to have filtered out a little bit more, especially considering I did a similar test yesterday. I'll put it up now actually. Oh yeah, this is the sound with no filters at all. This is the sound with the OBS filter which I usually use, which is noise suppression at -15 decibels. Now this is the filter with RTX Voice. I'll have to check out later if it actually makes a difference. Anyway, RTX Voice is at 50% strength right now. And this is RTX Voice at 100% suppression strength. I am talking at the usual tone I usually talk, and there's probably shower water running in the background. And there it seemed to filter out a whole lot more of noise, and then, well, it was barely audible, as you could see it, only a few spikes here and there. But that was a lot better results than we are getting now. Again, this is beta software. It's using an unofficial way to actually install it and running. So could be potentially any issues like that. It could have just literally stopped working, because honestly, I don't notice much of a difference between the filtered and non-filtered version of the sounds. Quick reminder that I am running this on GTX 1660 Ti, so it's not the intended card to be used with it. It does not have any RT or tensor cores, so if that's what it's leveraging, we're not really having any use of those because we don't have them to begin with. And I am using a condenser mic, which is notorious for picking up sound very well, but also picking up basically every sound. So you might have different results with different hardware that you might be using. As far as the performance hit goes, you can tell here I'm just doing a quick and crude check on the task manager. It's using 2.3% of CPU. Memory usage seems to be reasonably high, but keep in mind this is the total system memory, so 1 gig when you have, for example, 16 gigs. It's not that bad, and it's not really maxed out either, so it just might not be freeing memory immediately, but you know, not really a big deal. As far as its GPU usage, however, it seems to be doing 1.4 to 1.5, which is actually lower than I saw it do yesterday. It was in the 3 to 4%. So it might actually explain exactly why it's not doing as well as it should. So while we hit that slight unexpected snag, and I'll still have to look into exactly what the cause is, and if we can get it to work any better, I'll just edit the video if we do, obviously. Let's take a look at other things that might actually shed some light if it's actually working or not, by doing some game testing and testing the performance hit that we actually get when using RTX Voice. Simple standing still here while playing, for example, Witcher 3 is giving me 104, 105 average FPS. This is with RTX off. Turning RTX Voice on drops the average FPS to anywhere between 91 and 94. It's holding at 92 right now, standing still. So that alone already shows you what kind of hit you can expect. And this is not even a very active scene. There is definitely an increase in the CPU load, as you can look here at RTX Voice taking out 23-25% of CPU processing power. And by CPU, I obviously meant GPU. So yeah, the game impact is there. Mind you, I am using a GTX 1660 Ti, like I said, so if you have an RTX card, maybe some of the load is going to be offloaded to the tensor cores and RT cores. Not sure about that, and I cannot really test it myself either, so we're just gonna have to take NVIDIA at their word, basically, that that's what's gonna happen, and wait for further updates, because once again, it is a beta. Apparently, the output version of RTX Voice is refusing to cooperate, so I guess that's going to be a testing for another time. Again, reminder, it is a beta, an early beta at that, and NVIDIA themselves have warned that it was far from being a finished product. That said, we did get mixed results. The test that I did at the shower water was quite great, actually. I was highly impressed by that. Some of the testing that I did now with the, for example, keyboard noises, mouse noises, that sort of stuff, less impressive, to be honest. I did not notice much of a difference between that and OBS's own noise suppression filter that they normally use. So that was a bit of a letdown, especially considering the videos that I watched online. However, the possibility remains that RTX Voice was just not doing anything, really. That when I restarted it last night and started it up today, somehow it broke. Also a possibility considering I got it working through a workaround, and I'll try reinstalling it and see if I got any different results. So this is a test with the installation having been redone. So this is a test with the installation having been redone. So basically, I have good news and I have bad news for you guys. The good news is that, as you can see by the filtered example that I did just now, it seems to work better after reinstalling the application. The bad news is that you might actually have to reinstall the application every time if you want it to work, which is definitely not intended, and it's either a consequence of it being in beta or a consequence of me using a different unintended product. I really don't feel like reshooting the whole video, so you know, there might be more background noise than on normal usage when the software is actually working on the first examples that I gave you and on the typing example that I gave you. But I mean, at least now you have a bit of a better sample of how it actually works when it's actually working, let's say. So final verdict on RTX Voice and the limited testing that we did on it. Yeah, it does seem to have some promise. However, it does fall severely short, I would say, of the examples that I saw online, and that really got me excited about it. And the first test I did yesterday on it really got me excited about it. But seems to be still far off from perfect, which I have to give it to NVIDIA. They have been very clear that it is a beta product, and they only rushed it out because of the current worldwide situation, and seems to be something that people might have a use for. However, while not being completely functional and completely effective yet, it does seem like it is a very, very promising feature. Also, the washing machine is beeping in the background, so you might or might not have heard that. Depends on how well it works, which I have to review after the footage that I actually shot. In any case, it is something that I definitely will be keeping an eye on. I was really hoping to use that to increase the sound quality on the channel and, well, kind of remove some of the nuisances that there have been in some videos so far. I will be using it. However, it does not seem like it will be 100% effective, and I really honestly do not feel like having to reinstall it all the time to even get it to work and do something. So hopefully that was a one-time thing, and hopefully in the future that will not be necessary. As far as the performance hit goes, for someone like me or for someone doing conference calls at work, definitely acceptable. Your PC runs fine, everything runs fine. It's only when you are gaming on more demanding titles or streaming that you might notice a performance hit. Because let's face it, it dropped like 3-4 frames when I was recording and using RTX Voice. When you are streaming, it's going to be even more demanding than that, most likely. And if you don't have a high-end PC, you're probably going to be noticing the difference. I still have to review the footage, but from the little that I reviewed while doing the video, there did not seem to be any instances of it cutting off parts of my speech that it shouldn't. The other type of filtering, the filtering of the sounds that you get from other people, could not get it to work. So there is that. There is doubt of how well it will filter, how much of a toll it will take on your processing power, and yeah, if it would potentially cut out what other people are saying. Using that while gaming, definitely not advised, because it will probably be cutting out game sounds that you actually want to hear. As far as the hit to voice quality from other processing, does not seem to be very severe, and it's definitely acceptable. Everything might have been made worse by me using a condenser mic while doing this video. The mic is very sensitive, very, very sensitive. It captures voice very well, but also everything else. So yeah, when using a different type of microphone, you get possibly better results. It's also possible that doing other sorts of shenanigans, like lowering the gain here and then boosting it back up later while processing, might decrease the amount of noise that it captures in the first place, making the processing of RTX Voice easier and giving us better results in the long run, or maybe getting the captured footage that I have now and running it through other voice noise reduction programs might actually improve it further, let's say, but that's something that I'll need to take some time to try out. When it does work well, it seems quite groundbreaking. So hats off to NVIDIA for pulling this out of the hat. I understand it's not a finished product, but even then it's quite impressive, and I cannot wait to see exactly how it will pan out. I'll definitely be testing in the future when it gets released completely, and I will definitely be using it in the meantime, provided I don't have to actually reinstall it every single time, because ain't nobody got time for that. So this has been Ethic PC Guy. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video, as eventful as it was. Did not necessarily go as planned with the whole it partially working at the start. So yeah, and apologies for the background noises on the parts that it was not actually filtering, but yeah, that's what the showcase is. We had to show it like that. Hope I'll see you guys in the next video. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to help us grow in the future and be able to showcase more and better products. And I'll hopefully see you next time.